Hello, and welcome again to our repotting fanfare. We are here today to repot Miss and Miss Lilacina, or Ghost Lilacina, I should say. It's a pretty rare Lilacina. It's not your normal Lilacina where babies and babies and babies are being produced. This particular one is some kind of a cross between two Echeverias. I don't know which one. So I am going to repot them because they are getting a little too big for their planter. And of course, when that happens, it's going to be root bound and we are going to run into some trouble when we don't do it. So here I am. And first thing that I did is I put the screen under on the bottom so the none of the soil will escape, but the water will still be able to escape. And I'm repeating this over and over because there are new subscribers out there. So if you're not interested, just fast forward to the next phase. So I want to talk to you a little bit about this particular plant. This is not your normal Lilacina. I have Lilacinas in my garden and they are so progressively making babies all the time. But this particular one does not, and they're very slow growing, but they're so attractive and they form very neat symmetrical rosettes. And the whitish pink gray leaves, it goes up to 10 inches across. But see, mine hasn't done that yet because they've been in containers. But I noticed that during the fall and the winter months when it's colder, they are the growing season. They become more beautiful and more prestigious, if you will, where the leaves are open and they seem to be growing a little bit more. They're getting bigger because this was from those little 2-inch pots, and they have grown into this 4-inch pots, and now I'm transferring them into 6-inch pots. But they're very slow growing. They do like the shade, but when at their prettiest, they are sort of bluish, grayish, kind of lilac looking. It's really pretty. So this is why I'm going to start them off again in containers, and then once they get bigger, because it says that they can grow up to 10 inches across. Well, once it overgrows or it outgrows this 6-inch pot, it means that they're ready to become more mature plants, and maybe I will transfer them in ground because that's when they really thrive, is when they're in ground. And I just noticed that from all of my other Echeverias. So what I'm doing here now is putting in some soil, some fast draining soil, which is a mixture of um, your regular cacti and succulent soil, and I added some pumice in it and also rocks, the aquarium rocks into it, so that it can drain really fast because that's what they like. So also the soil kind of got dry because it was in a container that's open. And because I can't water this plant until maybe 7 or 10 days after I've repotted it, so it doesn't get shocked. Um, you normally have to acclimate it to its new environment. So watering it might shock it as soon as you repot it. So what I do is I just mix the water into the soil so that it can give it a running start, if you will, so that the soil's already moist and they can suck the water out of the soil that's already around them instead of having to like drown them with water and like a regular watering. But after 7 to 10 days, under shade, I will start watering them just a little bit around the rim so that it gets a little bit more water so it can get slowly acclimate into being watered. And also, I will maybe set them outside under the sun for about an hour. Make sure that you set your alarm because you don't want to forget them. But for now, for 7 days, they're going to be under the shade, under like a shelf that I have outside where the sun doesn't get to it, but it gets bright light because they do need the bright light. You cannot set them out in the shade or like in a dark room or something like that because they are not going to survive, or they're just going to look very sickly, and then it's going to be hard to try to get them back to their healthy state. So now I have both of them here. I'm going to loosen up this plant. It's kind of tight in there now, because you have to figure it's already outgrown its pot. So I have to get really, really close to the very side of the planter to loosen it up, and it's pretty easy. Then just make sure you save the rest of the soil. It's pretty healthy soil. And then I will groom this to remove all the dead leaves before I put it. But as you can see, it's already pot bound. Like, you can see the roots starting to struggle out of the pot. Although if you have a terracotta pot, usually because it's so porous, the roots will actually go through the pores of the planter. But you don't want that, because you don't want the roots, those are baby roots, very, very thin, very, very sensitive, going through the pores of the terracotta pot. So I'm just loosening it up a little bit. I'm not loosening it up too much. And then I'm going to dig a little bit around it to set it in there. So I set it into where the base of the top of the soil of the old plant, like around the plant, is sitting at least 1.5 inches below the rim of the planter. And then I'm just going to fill this up with some more moist soil around it, and I'm going to pack it in a little bit, just a little bit, because again, you have to remember the soil is very, very dry, and once you start watering in, maybe 2 or 3 waterings after that, 2 or 3 regular waterings, you're gonna see that some of the roots will be exposed. Then you'll have to put some more soil into it, because it does get compacted after 2 or 3 waterings. The soil settles to the bottom, and then your top will be exposed. So you don't want that, because once it's exposed, especially when fall and winter come around, the air is going to be really cold, depending on where you're at. Of course, in Arizona, I don't think it ever gets cold there, but it does get hot, really, really hot. So you don't want the heat, or the inclement weather to get to it. Also, very rainy days, especially here in Northern California, the past couple of years, we have been getting heavy rains. It's going to compact it even more, because there's going to be a lot of water trying to settle the soil. And then you saw that I just cleaned some of the soil off of the rosette, because if you water that and then there's soil in there, it could rot the plant. It could rot the leaves, and then it starts snowballing. And you saw that I squirted a little bit of water just to moisten the top of it some more, and then compact it again a little bit. But that's pretty much it. And then you just keep going. If you want to dress it, you could also do that. You can also put top dressing with the pebbles, but I don't usually normally do that, because I like being able to see what's going on underneath the plant. And the rocks will just hide whatever it is. Sometimes they have there is such a thing as root mealy bugs, and we don't want that. I want my pesticide to really soak into the soil and really soak into around the plants. And I noticed that the more I use my pesticide, which I do that every 2 weeks. I have an alarm on my phone to make sure that I spray for mealybugs. I will link that the pesticide that I use is really very potent. It's very organic. It's not going to kill your plant. It will kill all the mealybugs though. And I noticed that this summer I did not have a lot of mealybugs unless there was some new growth, like the 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 blooms. When the blooms come out, I usually just like rip it off the plant. I mean, I know they're beautiful, but guys, would you rather see, a healthy plant than flowers? I try to keep them a couple of days, but then after a couple of days, I will cut them off. I will cut them because they are not going to put mealy bugs on my plants. However, I was just on vacation, so I was gone for 10 days, and a lot of my Echeverias had flowers. And as soon as I came home, I just chopped them all off because they are so bad. Mealybugs love the new growth, so just keep that in mind. I know it's pretty. You can take pictures, and it'll last forever, but your plants can only take so much of the mealybugs. And I don't know, for some reason, I get a lot of mealybugs around here, but this year I have been very, very happy that there was not a lot of mealybugs. Very fortunate that this year really the pesticide worked for me. So this is it, guys. I'm gonna do it the same way with this plant, and I'm not gonna bore you with that. And hopefully that you, you got some in good information out of this video. And so next video is going to be, I think it's going to be a giveaway, because we have more than 6,000 subscribers now. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. Make sure that you tell people that you know to subscribe, because I'm going to do a giveaway. So you need to be notified with that. And if you click the bell, you will get an email so you don't miss out on the giveaway, because the giveaway is only going to last for a week, and then I will draw the name after a week, and then somebody will win. So make sure that you join the giveaway, because it's gonna be good. I'm gonna be creative this time. Okay, guys, thank you so much for stopping by and watching the video. I really totally appreciate everyone, and XOXO, I love you all. Take care. Bye bye. See you later.